Okay. Right. Let's get into it. So this is going to be 3 powerful ways for you to generate leads for your B2B SaaS business in 2024. Let me just check that everything's working here. Yeah, I think we are all good. Right. So first of all, say a little bit about me. So I'm the founder of Rocket SaaS. We're a B2B marketing agency for SaaS companies. I've worked with over 120 different SaaS businesses since being a marketer. I've generated over 100,000 leads from various different campaigns, and I'm going to be sharing some of my favorite campaigns with you today. That photo there of me, that is what I used to look like when I used to get 8 hours sleep a night. This is what I look like now. I had a little baby a couple of months ago. This is little Isabel. So this is how I created the webinar for you. It's pretty much me lying in bed with Isabel. So she was supporting me. Any mums and dads out there, you'll be familiar with this setup of how you get your work done after having a baby. Anyone that's yet to have a baby yet, that's what you're going to be like when you're working. So shout out to Isabel for giving me support in creating this. And first of all, I'm going to give you a bit of a bonus slide. So before we get into these 3 lead magnet campaigns that I want to talk about, we're going to go through, I'm just going to show you a bit of a slide here in terms of how did I get 500 people to sign up to this webinar. So we hit the Zoom limit, which is amazing. And I'm going to do a little bit of a question to you guys here. See if you can guess what was the most successful channel to get 500 signups to this webinar. So webinars, workshops is a classic lead generation campaign. That's not one of the 3 that I'm going to be sharing with you today. This is just a bit of a bonus slide. So I promoted this webinar in 6 different channels. I put 500 quid into LinkedIn ads, 500 quid into Meta ads. I sent about 2,000 cold emails. I've got about 10,000 organic LinkedIn followers, got about 5,000 people on my newsletter. And then I sent I think about 200 LinkedIn DMs to people. So go into the chat or go into the Q&A and enter what you think was the number 1 source of signups to this webinar. See what you think. See if anyone gets it right. Let's have a look here. So some people saying LinkedIn organic, LinkedIn ads, LinkedIn organic, LinkedIn, email newsletter, email newsletter. Okay, so a varying range of different answers. And the winner was Meta ads. So I put £500 into Meta ads, got 130 signups to this webinar. It's interesting that I put the exact same amount of money into LinkedIn ads and only got 17 signups. So yeah, there's a huge difference. The cost per click of Meta ads is so much less than LinkedIn. I often speak to B2B SaaS brands and they say, oh, I don't want to do advertising for Meta ads. It's not a business platform. It's not going to work for my brand. But I generally find that is not the case. So with Meta ads, I think we got the cost per click down to below $1, whereas LinkedIn ads, it was about £6 per click, like $7, $8 per click. So there's a huge difference there. What I will say about Meta ads is that typically the quality of the leads that you get in Meta is not as strong as LinkedIn ads. Problem with Meta ads is that people, when you create a Meta account, Instagram or Facebook, you don't enter your job title, you don't enter even your industry. So it's the targeting is not always great. And you also get a lot of Hotmails, a lot of Gmails, a lot of Yahoo. So you get a lot of crap leads coming in. However, with the sheer low cost and the numbers, there's always going to be good ones in there. So I would always recommend that businesses do explore Meta ads if you haven't done before, particularly for like educational thought leader campaigns like this, like a workshop, like a webinar. Newsletter was great. I recommend any B2B brand to have a newsletter. And then LinkedIn DMs and cold email. They're probably the 2 that you are not overly familiar with. Most marketers haven't done cold DMs or cold emails to promote their campaigns. And that can be really, really powerful. So, you know, those annoying LinkedIn messages you get from loads of people, those bot messages, oh, hey, let's have a virtual coffee. And I hate those and they rarely work, but they are really powerful when you've created something of value, like a free workshop, and you just DM people saying, hey, you're a HR manager. We're doing a free workshop for HR managers. Here's the registration. It's totally free. Hope to see you there. And no follow-up annoying spam messages, just pumping it out in as many places as possible. Cold email as well has been great. So there you go. Well done if you got that right. Right, let's get into what we're actually going to cover today. That was more of a bonus slide. So what we're going to cover today is First campaign, it's talking about changing your sales philosophy. The next one is talking about a dynamic lead magnet. Third one is going to be a separate brand newsletter. And then the fourth one is talking about how to make sales calls immediately come from those MQLs from the above campaigns. And then if we've got time at the end, we are going to do some Q&A. So if you have any questions, throw them in the Q&A button at the bottom of the screen, and I will go through them if we've got time. We should have time. And I had a few others that people submitted via email and social media, which I'm going to go through as well. Right, let's get into it. First lead magnet campaign is changing your sales philosophy. Changing your sales philosophy to consultative selling. This was absolutely transformational for my business. So when we started doing consultative selling, the business massively grew. The number of sales we made just more than doubled. And so I'll try and explain to you what that is and which businesses this is appropriate for and how you can turn that into a campaign. So what is consultative selling? So consultative selling is an approach that focuses on creating value and trust with the prospect and exploring their needs before you offer a solution. So it's kind of adding an additional call before you do the sales call, before you do the demo, and basically giving free consultation. And I'll try and get a bit more specific on that. Too many businesses focus on quick sales. Too many SaaS businesses are just trying to get people straight to the demo, straight to the free trial, and they're not focusing on the funnel. Agencies like mine are a bit better at doing this consultative method, and we're doing it for a lot of our clients, and it's working really, really well. So I'll give you an example of a funnel of how that can work. So first of all, I'll tell you who consultative selling is appropriate for and who it's not appropriate for. So it's not really appropriate for low ticket products. So if you've got a customer lifetime value of less than $500, it's not really going to be worthwhile for you because you're adding in another call. You're just not going to get the profit on that. It's not going to be appropriate for product-led SaaS businesses. So SaaS businesses that just want the website to do the selling, no demos, no salesperson calls, just go on, do the free trial, enter your credit card, and off you go. But for most businesses, which I would think most people on this call is B2B SaaS businesses with a sort of medium or high ticket item. The other thing that you must have in the business is somebody who is good at consulting and selling. So if you've got, SDRs, BDRs, quite junior, they're not going to have the experience to consult. So the best people to do these types of calls, like the head of product, often the founders, as long as they've got a mix of both, got the expertise and they know the ins and outs of having be able to sell. So let's get into it a bit more here. How to create a consultative selling funnel. So the first thing that you want to do, you want to develop a free lead magnet that will sit in the middle of the funnel. I'm going to explain what goes above it and what goes below it in the funnel later. But the key thing at first is to create that lead magnet that sits in the middle. Now, this is going to be a call, but it's not going to be a sales call and it's not going to be a demo. It's going to be a free advice consultation. So examples of what that might be could be a free strategy call. It could be a free audit. So taking something in their business, reviewing it for free, auditing it, giving advice on how they could improve it. Could call it a free health check, free consultation, a free assessment. A lot of those things are quite similar. They're just worded differently. So your business will solve a problem for somebody. Whatever use case you're in, whatever job title you're targeting, you'll be solving some kind of problem. So is there a lead magnet that you could create where you're reviewing their problem, reviewing their system or their process or their business? Can you assess it and can you give people free advice? Wrap it up in a PDF, wrap it up in or just a consultation call. There's got to be something that you can do there. And now you want to create a lead magnet. So you create a lead magnet, and it's a landing page that's going to, people fill out a form to apply for the assessment, for the health check, but you want to make sure that it's not like a sales pitch. And you also want to add a little bit of scarcity. So typically we only do 5 of these strategy calls per month because you don't want to be doing loads of strategy calls. They want to be highly qualified. So let me show you a real life example of this with one of my clients. So if I click on this, it will open up the page itself. So this is a client called Stora of ours. So they are a B2B SaaS platform. It's a software for self-storage businesses. It sorts out invoicing customers booking their storage units, and just generally running their business. So this strategy call campaign that we created for them is a free bespoke guidance on how to scale your self-storage business. So a free advice and free strategy about scaling your business. That's a classic. If you're going after small businesses, founders of small businesses, what do founders of small businesses all want to achieve? They all want to scale their business. So this free strategy call about scaling your self-storage business has been really powerful. So you notice from the headline here, we're not talking about the product. We're not talking about what they sell or their service. It's purely, do you want a free guide on how to scale your business? This section here tells you about who you're going to be doing the call with. It's with Gavin. He's the CEO and founder. We'll review your self-storage business and find expansion and growth opportunities. This is not a sales call. You've even written it there. And it's limited to 5 calls per month. So you've got this form here that you fill in. As you scroll down, there's a testimonial here. Now, note that this is not a testimonial about the product. This is a testimonial about how good Gavin is and how much of an expert Gavin is, because he's the guy that's going to be doing this call. Here's a bit here. Receive tailored advice, expansion and growth strategies, streamline day-to-day self-storage operations, improve customer satisfaction. What tech should you be using? Here's a bio about Gavin. And here's a video that Gavin made. This is not a video about his product. This is a video about this strategy call. What are you going to learn on this call? What we're going to cover. In the video, he mentions this is not a sales call. There's no obligation to work together. So this is a great way to generate leads. Okay. And then, oops, sorry, I'm just reading the Q&A coming through. So yeah, that is an example of a landing page. And now we need to drive traffic to that page. So marketing to a cold audience will bring in some leads for this, because this is such a powerful lead magnet campaign. You don't always need to get people traveling through a funnel before they engage with it. It does work cold. So you can create ads, you can create organic content, you can create SEO to drive people to this page. So going straight to that strategy call. But things really come to life when you create more content to go around it, to get people into that funnel. So more top of funnel content. So what I mean by that is all the usual kind of top of funnel content that you'll be familiar with: blogs, videos, ebooks, newsletters, webinars, workshops, podcasts, scorecards. So creating all of that content, just probably like you're doing already or want to be doing. But what I want you to change with this particular funnel is the call to action at the end of all of these. Rather than promoting your free trial or promoting your book a demo, is try promoting your free strategy call. It just adds that extra layer into your funnel. So then when people come onto the strategy call, then you pitch the sales call or the demo or the free trial. So I'm not saying get rid of the demo. I'm not saying get rid of the free trial. I'm just saying introduce this as a different funnel and see if it starts to generate you more leads. So create all of these things in pink and update the call to action. So after someone's read a blog, the next step at the end of the blog, jump on a free strategy call. If you're doing a video tip on LinkedIn about how someone can scale their business, the call to action at the end of the video, let's now do a free strategy call. It's just adding that extra layer so people know you, like you, trust you before they're ready to jump on that sales call. Getting people onto that sales call, that demo is getting harder and harder and harder. The more layers you add into the funnel, the more educational free advice tips, the more chance you've got of people coming onto that call. So that, I think, covers the first lead gen tip. So what time is it now? Okay, 1:15. I think I'm on track here. Let me just go through some of the questions. Okay, yes, there will be a recording that you can share with the sales team, no problem. Right, lead gen tip number 2 is a scorecard. Some of you might be familiar with the scorecard. Scorecards are getting more and more popular all the time. If you have already done a scorecard or already tried a scorecard, hopefully I can give you some tips here on how to make it work even better. I've seen a lot of people do scorecards and do them badly. I'm going to show you an example of a really good scorecard that got 50 leads a month for quite a long period. And yeah, so let's go through this. So what is a scorecard? If you don't know what a scorecard is, it is similar to a quiz or a survey. So you ask the user a series of multiple choice questions about their business. or the problem that they might have. And the answers are weighted. So it's like an intelligent survey. So every time you answer a question, there's a score being happening in the background. There's like an algorithm that's working out your score. And then when you get to the results page at the end of the survey, you get given tailored and specific advice on how you can improve your business based on the answers that you've just given. So it's sort of like a quiz survey, but really intelligent. So the types of scorecards and how you can create one. So the key is to make it educational and helpful, not salesy. So the main problem that I see with people that have done scorecards in the past that haven't worked is that the scorecard it just very obviously looks like a sales tool. It's just like, here's a questionnaire about how good our product is. It just doesn't work. You want to make it really educational, really helpful, not salesy. So examples of types of scorecards, I'm going to show you an exact example from a client of mine soon. But what you could call them is like a health check, an assessment, a benchmark, an audit. So it's not too dissimilar to the first lead magnet campaign that I talked about. That was a strategy call. This is more of a digital version of it, a digital assessment of your business. So I'm going to give you some specific examples for niches. Let's say if you were targeting HR professionals, you could do a health check on company culture. Let's say if you've identified that one of the main pain points of your target audience in HR is company culture. People are going remote working, the office has been closed down. I'm really struggling to create company culture and people are leaving because of it. So you can come onto our website and you can do a free company culture health check. And you ask them a series of different questions about, like, how often are you doing team get-togethers? How often are you doing Zoom quizzes? How often are you giving benefits to your employees? All these different questions, and then you're giving someone a score, and then on the results page, they get, this is how we rate your company culture based on this quiz that you've just done. You're getting 22%. Oh dear, you need to improve in these areas. And guess what? Our software can help you do that. So you want to make it obviously related to your product, and also really related to a pain point that your customers got. And you need a smooth way of giving them advice and a free assessment, and then your product fits in nicely as a sales pitch at the end. Another example would be IT. Let's say you're in the IT industry and you sell cybersecurity insurance, something like that. You could be offering a free cybersecurity audit. So you could be offering people a free assessment. Go onto our website, fill out this scorecard, and you can ask various questions like, how often do you make your staff change their passwords? Do you let your staff take their laptops on public transport? All those typical security question things. And then again, you get a score at the end of it. Oh no, you got a really bad score. You are in danger of losing your whole business here. You really need to work with us. Another example, sales. If you're targeting salespeople, let's do a sales performance benchmark. People love benchmarking themselves against other people. People love benchmarking their business against their competitors. So if you've got a sales platform, you will have data on, like, for example, let's say that you will know how long does it take your customers on your platform to make a sale. The average sale is made in 18 days for this industry, from the initial lead to the close. And then you can ask people that question. And if they say, oh, it takes us 30 days to close a sale, you can say, oh, well, you're falling pretty far behind the benchmarks that we've got. If you use our software, boom, you can decrease that issue. So there's some examples of niches. And this is an example of a scorecard of one of our clients. Let me open this up. So this is the landing page. CME are a HR tech. So they support companies that are looking to improve their people performance with psychometric analysis of each employee. So the scorecard that was really successful, I'll show you the results and the leads that we got for this scorecard. So this is the landing page. Run a health check on your company's people performance. So we targeted this towards HR managers, people in learning and development as well. Receive a score out of 100 and a bespoke report on how your business compares in the best areas of leadership, management, communication, and teamwork. It takes 2 minutes. It's totally free. You get your results instantly. And you scroll down, tell you a little bit more about, we're going to score you on these different areas of your business. We've created a little, to make it look like a book, because you actually get sent this as an email afterwards, the People Performance Health Check. You're 2 minutes away from receiving your personalized HR and management report, 20 questions, and then you fill out this. I'm not going to go through the whole thing now, but I will show you an example of what it looks like. So this is an example of a question. So I think there's 20 questions in total. This is one of the questions. This is for that HR tech. So would most employees be able to recite the company values? If you say no, in the background, you're getting a negative score. If you say yes, you're getting a positive score. So I'm not going to go through all the questions, but that's an example of how we're creating this algorithm. Whoops. And then when you get to the results page, you see something like this. So you get a total score. So this person got 71. And then there's 4 different categories that you were measured on. So this person is doing pretty well in these 2 categories, not very well in this category, and they're doing okay in that category. And then the scorecard gives you very bespoke, very clever, tailored advice for each of the 4 categories. So this example category down here, leadership and management, you scored badly. You only got 17%. So here's some advice we give you to improve that. You should be developing clear KPIs. And then it gives you information on how you can develop KPIs, what are KPIs, why they're important for your business. So it's giving you free advice, and it's not overly selling the products. It's trying to help you, trying to educate you. And then at the end, if you scroll to the bottom of the results page, then there's a big call to action that says, if you really want to improve your people performance, you should have a chat with us. So that's the results page. And then this is an example of, so it's not an example, it's showing you the leads that this scorecard got. So we ran this at the back end of last year, pretty much ran for 3 months, September, October, November, got 157 leads, so over 50 leads per month. And it had a really high conversion rate. So typical conversion rate on a landing page is like sort of 2-3%. Scorecards can do really, really well. So 21% conversion rate. That's 21% of people that came onto the landing page actually filled out the form. The average person took 2 minutes to complete it. And these are the average scores that people got. And then the beauty of scorecards is when you get the lead, you don't just get the contact details of the person. You don't just get their name and their email address. You get all of the answers to their questions. So what you can do is you can throw in some sneaky like qualification questions, like what's your company headcount, for example, or what's your annual IT budget. And then you also get all these answers to all these interesting questions. So when you're speaking to the person on the sales call, on the demo, on the strategy call, you can have these in front of you. You say, oh, okay, I see you answered no when you said that can people recite your company values? Why do you think that is? And just starts that conversation going. So you get this really, really good data. In terms of where does the scorecard fit into the funnel? So again, scorecards work really well for a cold audience. So ads, organic, SEO, newsletters can drive people straight to the scorecard. It's a really good lead magnet that can sit quite high up in the funnel. And the magic happens after people have completed the scorecard. So people will complete the scorecard, they get sent the results as a PDF. And then what happens? Then you want to nurture people onto that sales call. So again, you should typically try to create an educational funnel, I would recommend. So when people have completed the scorecard, try and push them onto a call, but also try and push them onto something else, some other lead magnet that's going to give them more value, something like a webinar, a workshop, maybe giving them a free ebook. And then after they've got to the end of that, then you throw in the strategy call from the first campaign idea that I gave you. And then at the end of the strategy call, then you're promoting the sales call. So it's just adding more layers, more opportunities for someone to know you, like you, trust you, engage with you. But that is a classic flow. Fill out the scorecard. At the end of the scorecard, you say, okay, you scored pretty badly in these areas. Thankfully, we've got a webinar coming up next week that's going to do a deeper dive into exactly this topic. We'd love you to attend. At the end of the webinar, you say, right, everybody on this webinar is invited to a free strategy call. At the end of the strategy call, you push them onto the sales call or the demo. That can work really, really well. But the best way that I've seen scorecards work in terms of turning scorecard leads into sales is to give them a courtesy call. So you give people a courtesy call after they have completed the scorecard. So you will get the leads. You'll get an email notification when a scorecard lead comes in. You get the phone number if that's in the form. And the next day you just call them up. You say, hey, it's Ryan from Rocket SaaS. You completed our scorecard yesterday. Just wondering what you thought. Did you find it helpful? And they'll immediately go, oh, yeah. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I completely. Yesterday. Yeah, I found it really, really helpful. Thank you. I found some really good information. And then you'll have the screen in front of you of all the questions that they answered, and you can dive deeper. You can say, oh, I see you answered no to this question. Tell me more. Is that an issue in your business at the moment? And you just get that conversation started really easily. So it's no longer a cold call. It's a warm call. So if you've got SDRs, they love scorecard leads. They love it. So rather than just cold calling people that everyone hates. You're calling people up, courtesy call. Did you enjoy the scorecard? And then on the courtesy call, you're advising people to jump on a free strategy call. You say things like, oh, you may have heard this free strategy call we're doing, this free consultation call. Everybody that's completed the scorecard this month is going to be invited. And I think you qualified it. We're going to do 5 per month. Would you like to do a strategy call? It's with our founder. We got some slots next week. It's just a really kind of natural, easy way to get people from these MQLs here onto sales calls. So yeah, I really recommend that strategy. In terms of how to build a scorecard, you're probably thinking, if you're not aware of scorecards, probably thinking that sounds quite technically complicated. You can build it yourself if you want to, but there is a website called ScoreApp where you just register an account and it does all the hard work for you. I have an affiliate link here. I'm not affiliated with them in any way other than this link. I don't even know how much money I get if you sign up. I probably get a tenner or something. That's not why I've recommended this. I would recommend this if I didn't get anything from it, because it is a fantastic lead magnet. We use it in our business. I recommend pretty much all of our clients to use it, whether you're B2B SaaS or anything. If you follow that link, I will email this to you. I'll email this along with the recording to everybody after this. So you can use that link. You get 50% off your first month with it. So it's worth doing if you're interested. But yeah, scorecards are brilliant. All right, we've flown through the first 2 tips. I think I'm on course here to finish this on time with a bit of Q&A at the end. Right, lead gen tip number 3 is a separate brand newsletter. So let's go through that. What is a separate brand newsletter? It is pretty much what it says on the tin. It's a newsletter, but it's branded and marketed separate to your main brand. But why? Why should you do that? The reason is because your main newsletter with your main brand can appear quite boring and quite salesy, just by definition, just by the fact that it's from a company. Whereas if you create a separate brand newsletter, it can be entertaining, it can be fun, it can be just more exciting and engaging. If you're doing it from your own brand, it's like people are very reluctant to sign up to it because they just think, oh, you're just going to give me boring industry news. You're going to give me really boring news about new employees that you've hired that I don't care about. You're going to get me into your sales funnel and your salesperson's going to annoy me by calling me. No, thanks. Whereas if you create a separate brand, you've just got this opportunity to make it appear like 100% educational because it's not even from a company. So you're going to need to create a different name for it. You're going to potentially need to create a new logo for this new brand. You're going to need to buy a new domain name. You're going to have to create a landing page, and you're going to need an email platform. Usual stuff: MailChimp, ActiveCampaign, HubSpot. We use ActiveCampaign for our newsletters. And the types of newsletters. So the key, this is like obviously the theme of today, to make it educational, helpful, and not salesy. You don't even want to mention your product. You want to try and really hone in on that pain point and give people weekly advice on how to resolve that pain point. So let's go through some examples of different niches. Let's say you are targeting events professionals. A great newsletter might be weekly tips to make your events profitable and memorable. So every week you're giving people tips. Sure, you're going to be throwing in the odd call to action in there. So maybe 1 in 5 emails will have a strong call to action to your product, but the other 4 emails is going to be purely educational, thought leader, advice, tips, interviews with experts who have created profitable, memorable events, all that good stuff that someone would genuinely want to receive in their inbox. If you were an accounting firm, growth strategies and insights for UK accounting firms. If you're targeting HR companies, maybe have a bit of fun with it. HR horror stories and how to avoid them. Those are the sorts of newsletters that people sign up to. I've met so many businesses that they're just sort of stuck a newsletter sign up in the footer of their website and they get 0 leads from it. If you create something like this, this is how you build an audience. And just because it's a separate brand doesn't mean you can't promote your main brand. That will always be in there at the bottom of a call to action. But this is how you get people to sign up. Well, I'm going to tell you how to drive traffic and actually get people to sign up. But this is the content of how you get people to sign up to a newsletter. An example would be my own newsletter. So we used to be called the Rocket SaaS newsletter. It used to be rocket-sas.io/newsletter. Very difficult to remember, very difficult to share. And then we just made a very subtle change, just called it SaaS Marketing Weekly. So we bought sasmarketingweekly.com, created a new landing page, removed the Rocket SaaS logo. The only mention of Rocket SaaS is that little bit there that says Ryan is the founder of Rocket SaaS. And then as soon as we did that, our ad spend to promote the newsletter and people converting over it more than doubled, because it just suddenly appeared as though it wasn't a newsletter from a brand. People felt they weren't going to get sold to, and it's purely tips and helping people. So free SaaS marketing strategies and campaign ideas in your inbox every Thursday. I recommend that as a headline, the old in your inbox every Thursday. Very specific. You know exactly what you're going to get. And then I've also thrown in, like, you get a free SaaS course if you sign up. You don't have to do that. It's just like a bonus. So that is a great way to get leads. And then I'm going to show you on the next few slides about how to turn those MQLs, those newsletter signups, into sales calls. So we're going to go through that on the next slide after this one. How to market your newsletter. Meta ads. So I don't recommend LinkedIn ads to market your newsletter just because it's too expensive. You don't want to be paying like $10 per click for newsletters, because that means your cost per sign up is going to be about $100, which is far too much for a newsletter. So meta ads, as I said to you at the start of this presentation, a lot of people have overlooked meta ads. If you're a B2B SaaS business, you've possibly never done it before, or you've tried it and you've not got the results from it. If you start using meta ads at more top of the funnel activity, like a newsletter, then you can start to get really good results for that. So a lot of our clients where we're doing meta ads to promote the newsletter, and also my own newsletter, we're getting signups for about some of them less than $5 per sign up, which is really good. And you can also use your main brand to promote it. So if you do have a newsletter at the moment with your main brand, you can consider rebranding it. So you just change the name of it, email everyone and say, we've rebranded our newsletter, and we've also refreshed the content. No more boring industry news. We're going to be giving you this free advice. You can obviously use your social organic to promote it. You can add it to your website. So every single blog article you've got, I find that a lot of SaaS companies that I work with have got a decent amount of traffic coming to the website, usually the blog, but you're not converting that traffic anywhere. So look at your Google Analytics. If you're getting a lot of traffic to your blog, people are engaging with your content. They're finding it educational. So you should really be pushing people onto your newsletter. So when people are on the blog, a banner halfway through the article, the bottom of the article, if you want to be a bit more aggressive, have a pop-up, because the newsletter can be so powerful to build that community and build that audience. You've also got other avenues to promote a newsletter, sponsoring other people's newsletters. So find other newsletters that are in the same space. And most, they might have an affiliate scheme already where you can pay to have a little banner to promote your newsletter. That's a really effective way to get growth. Appearing on podcasts. Every time you appear on a podcast, you mention your newsletter. And again, it's so much more powerful for you to finish a podcast, and rather than saying, oh, sign up to my company newsletter, companywebsite.com/newsletter, you say, oh, just sign up to my newsletter, sasmarketingweekly.com. Really easy to remember, really easy to share, really easy to promote. And again, it just makes it appear like it's not salesy. It's more of a helpful marketing newsletter. And then influencer shout outs as well. So influencer marketing is a great way to get people to sign up to these types of newsletters. Right, now we are going to talk about how to turn MQLs into immediate sales calls. So all of those campaigns, those 3 campaigns that I've just gone through, whether it's the strategy call, that probably doesn't apply to this one actually, but certainly the scorecard and the newsletter. So people have filled out the lead magnet form. How do we immediately get people onto sales calls? What you traditionally try and do is nurture people, give them a call the next day, just send them a sequence of emails. But there is almost like a hack in terms of being able to get people immediately onto a sales call. So I'm going to go through that now. So it is surveying people on the thank you page. So let's say somebody signed up to your newsletter, or they've signed up, or they've downloaded an ebook and they've gone onto the thank you page, or they've signed up to a webinar or a workshop and they've hit the thank you page. So many thank you pages are super boring and you're missing a huge opportunity. Most thank you pages just say, thanks, here's a link to our homepage. Whereas you have really got people in the moment there, and you need to capture people that are in that moment. So you should be basically putting a survey on the thank you page to qualify people. For example, you want to say, to complete your registration, please answer these 3 short questions. So let's say you've registered for the newsletter. I mean, when they fill out their email, they have registered anyway. Their email has gone into the list, but you want to make it appear like they've kind of got to complete this survey to complete their questionnaire. So you want to qualify them. So it depends on what your qualification criteria is. Might be, where are you located? Do you suffer from these challenges in your business? What is your company headcount? If you feel like you can ask people, what's your monthly budget? You can do that. Using Typeform is a great tech to ask these questions, because what you want to do is you need a form that can qualify people. So it can show people different pages as to whether they passed or failed qualification. So it's not your bog standard WordPress form. So something like Typeform can do that. So if they fail qualification, the company headcount's not big enough, for example, you just show them to a thank you page. You say, thanks for signing up. See you on the webinar next week. Here's some blogs, check them out. But if they pass qualification, they say that their company headcount is big enough, and they've answered all the questions. You think, okay, that's a decent lead. Boom, you immediately show them the calendar. So you say, you qualify for a free strategy call. Goes back to the first campaign that I told you about. And then you try and get them to book immediately. So the thing that's really powerful about this particular hack, if I'm going to call it that, is that people are in the mindset right now. They're zoned in on your brand. They like your brand. You've got the biggest opportunity for them to book onto a call. It's the hardest thing in the world in marketing to get people to book onto sales calls. So if they are literally typing in their details to download an ebook, to sign up to a webinar, to sign up to a newsletter, in that current state of mind, they are thinking, I like this brand. I want to know more about them. I want to read their content. That pain point that they talk about is really driving me nuts at this exact moment. So I'm signing up now. That feeling of emotional connection to your brand is very, very, very quickly going to fade within seconds. So you want to capture them while they're in that mindset. So throwing this calendar in there. And the reason why there's a survey is because you want to obviously drive as many leads as possible. You want to drive as many MQLs as you can get. So, ideally hundreds of people signing up to a newsletter, for example. So you can't afford to be doing strategy calls with all of those people. You need to qualify them. It's up to you. I mean, you can do the calls if you want. But for most B2B SaaS businesses of a decent lifetime value, you don't want to be doing strategy calls with everybody. So if they qualify, throw them this kind of booking calendar in them. This is my HubSpot one. You can do it with Calendly. There's loads of different options, but that is a great way to get leads. And now I'm going to show you how to get 10 sales calls per month using that example. I'm going to tell you a specific funnel that you can go through. So let's say that you spend $1,500 per month on meta ads to promote your lead magnet. Let's say it's your newsletter that you've created. Let's say you get 150 leads, which is a cost per acquisition of $10, which is not too bad. I think that's definitely possible for your brands. That's what we're seeing, better than that for most of our clients. But let's just say it's $10 cost per acquisition, meaning you get 150 leads from that spend. Let's say you get another 50 leads from your other channels, organic, social media, outbound, email marketing. That's a total of 200 MQLs. So 200 people that have signed up to your newsletter. Let's say 50% of people go on to complete the survey. Maybe 50% will be like, oh, I can't be bothered to do a survey off. But 50% of people think, oh, I have to complete my registration. Okay, I'll do it. It's quite a conservative guess, 50%, I think. That's 100 people filling out the survey. Let's say if 10% of those people go on to book a call, so 10% of that 100 people end up being qualified and they accept the call, that is 10 sales calls per month. So from a spend of $1,500 plus a bit of extra push on your other channels, you can get 10 sales calls per month. I think doing that maths makes perfect sense. And all you've got to do is close. It depends on what you close. You should be closing at least 3 of those. You're presumably going to get a very good ROI. And then you can ramp this up. You can double the spend, and as long as the volume is there, then this should all double as well. So that is a great way to turn these lead magnet campaigns that you're doing into sales calls. So those are my 3 lead magnet campaigns. I'm going to do a little bit of Q&A. I had a few questions come through here. I've got a few written down as well. But first of all, I'll tell you how I can help you rocket your SaaS. So you may have been thinking about those campaigns that I've just talked you through. You may have been thinking they sound great, but I don't have the time and the resources to create them. Well, that's what me and my agency do here at Rocket SaaS. So we work with B2B SaaS companies that have limited marketing resources in-house. So if you've got no one in the marketing department, or maybe you've got 1 or 2 people in the marketing department, and you just don't have the time, the resources, the skills in-house to develop these campaigns, we can, if you haven't got anyone, we become your marketing department. If you've already got a couple of people, we bolt on to your marketing department. And we basically create these types of funnels for you. We create the Google ads, LinkedIn ads, Meta ads to drive traffic. We create the lead magnet campaigns, the scorecards, the strategy call campaigns that I've just talked about, webinars, workshops. We also create landing pages to get people converting. And we also create the nurture campaigns to nurture people from those campaigns onto becoming a sales call. So yeah, if you're interested in that, and if you've been paying attention to this webinar today, you'll know that I'm going to be offering you a free marketing strategy call. So the end of this call to action isn't to give us money. It's not to sign up. It's go onto our website, rocket-saas.io. In the top right-hand corner, there's a button called free strategy call. You can apply to have a one-on-one call with me, where I will assess your current marketing. How many leads are you getting? I'll have a look at your website, and I'll give you free advice on what I would do to get more leads into your business, what campaigns I think could work, what ad channels, what types of campaigns that you could do to get more leads. So feel free to apply for that. And Q&A. So feel free to fire some questions into the Q&A. There's a few things come through here. Let me just go through these. Oh, there's quite a lot. Right, I'm going to go through the ones that I received by email first. So am I sending a recording? Yes, I am. You're going to get that tomorrow. Should you gate your campaigns? So the 3 campaigns that I shared today, the free strategy call, the self-branded newsletter, and the scorecard, they're all naturally gated anyway. So you have to enter your email address in order to sign up to those. But if you're asking the question around like, should you gate things like ebooks? It's a bit of a hot topic, has been for the last year or so. Should you gate your ebook? Should you have a form and make people enter their name and their email address to download an ebook? My answer is no. I think I believe in the demand generation principle. You should give people what they want. So just create as much content as you can, give away as much free content as possible, show your pricing on your website, give people what they want, and they will come back to you. You know, trying to frustrate people, trying to, you know, force sales calls on people when they don't really want it. It's difficult. It's not working as much as it used to. It's working less and less and less. People are becoming much more sensitive about their email addresses. People are picking up the phone less than they ever did before. So no, I probably wouldn't gate things. Another question we've had here is, what software is used to create those scorecards? Scoreapp.com. I'll send you the link via email so you can see it. But it was on one of the slides earlier. What else we got here? Newsletter platforms. We use ActiveCampaign. Most common one that you would have heard of: HubSpot, MailChimp. I don't really like the user experience in MailChimp. We used to use that a while ago. It's good because I think it's probably got the best free platform if you're really a young startup. But yeah, we use ActiveCampaign. It's a bit clunky, but it's really good for automation flows. So that's really good. Another question here: how would retargeting ads fit into these campaigns? So that's a good question. Retargeting ads. That's a massive topic. I'll probably do another webinar at some point on the power of retargeting ads. But yeah, retargeting ads. So all of those campaigns that I have gone through today, let's say the free strategy call, the newsletter, that should all be pushed with retargeting ads. So anybody that comes onto your website, the next time they go onto their Meta, their LinkedIn, they should be seeing one of your lead magnets. You should be creating ideally a retargeting funnel for each of your lead magnets. So if someone completes your scorecard, the next time they're coming onto their socials, they should be seeing an ad to promote the free strategy call. If you know that they come onto the free strategy call page, then the next set of ads they should be seeing should be like case studies, testimonials, or they're getting near the bottom of the funnel now. So yeah, all these campaigns can work really, really well in retargeting. A lot of people make the mistake of doing retargeting ads by saying, okay, you come onto our website, here's an ad to book a demo. You need to create more of a funnel. But just because they come onto your website doesn't mean that they're ready to book a demo. Show them other campaigns, more top of funnel ads. What else have we got here? A few other questions. I tried Meta and LinkedIn ads, got loads of engagement, clicks, reach and impressions, etc., but no actual leads. Is this normal? Well, yes, it can be normal if you've got the wrong type of ads. I don't know what ads you were showing, but a lot of people make the mistake of only doing bottom of the funnel ads. So just doing ads to a cold audience that says, here's my product, book a demo today. That's working less and less and less and less each year that goes by. That's why you need to create a funnel. So I'd recommend creating something like a scorecard, something like a separate brand newsletter, or something like a free strategy call, and pointing ads to those things. So you're pointing ads to the top of the funnel. So you're not going to get sales from it immediately, but you're getting them in the funnel. And then using nurturing sequences via email or using retargeting ads, then you're slowly pushing people down. So that's my advice. So for example, my business and most of my clients that I work with, we spend very little on ads promoting our services. We spend 80% of our budget promoting ads to thought leadership content, like this workshop, like a free strategy call, like the newsletter. And then people trickle down from there. So we're only spending about 20% of the budget on our actual service, or in your case, your product, your demo. We only show those sorts of ads to people that we know have been onto our website. We know they've checked us out. We know they've done one of these other lead magnets. So you need to be patient. It takes more time. It takes more content. But that's the way that you can get the best results from ads. What other questions have we got here? Who should lead the strategy call? Definitely not the SDR or the BDR. Yeah, so I agree that the SDR and BDRs are going to be too junior. So it's typically, like I said earlier, it needs to be someone that can understand the business and the clients well enough to consult and to sell. So the founders are usually very good at that. Head of product can be good at that. The most senior person in sales, or maybe it would be training somebody up. So let's say the founder might be the best person to do it, but you probably don't want the founder doing all the strategy calls if they're also like the CEO and they should be doing something else. But maybe the founder should do the first 5 to get in the swing of things. Then you can train up someone. Whoever's your best performing SDR, you can train them. So this is typically the type of consulting call, the consulting topics that come up. This is how you answer each of them and just train them up. So if you haven't got an obvious candidate, then take the 2 candidates, the person that's good at selling and the person that's good at consulting, and get them to connect and train one another. But yeah, that's the best way to do it. The separate newsletter is with a different domain to the actual brand. So 2 domains. What would you use the main domain for then? So yes, it is 2 separate domains. So to use myself as an example, we have rocket-sas.io. That's our main website where we sell our services. And then we have sasmarketingweekly.com, which is our newsletter. So sasmarketingweekly.com, which is a 1-pager. It's not talking about Rocket SaaS, not talking about our services. It's just talking about how amazing this newsletter is, and it's totally free. So the 2 aren't really connected. The Rocket SaaS will promote SaaS Marketing Weekly with like a pop-up and a banner, but no, they're both very separate. GDPR, yes, that is a good question. So to split the databases for the newsletter, is that separate data for GDPR purposes? So no, I would say, I think you are going to be fine with GDPR as long as you're honest. So you say, this is a newsletter from company name. So if as long as you're kind of honest and you say that in like the small print, say, we may send you promotional material about our business. So yeah, I think it's fine. I don't see the issue because it's like a sub brand. So the main brand will own the sub brand. So it shouldn't be a problem with GDPR issues. I'm not a GDPR expert, but I'm pretty sure that's fine. if you rebrand your main newsletter, would you stop using your main domain for newsletters at all? So that's a good question. Like you're probably going to have a couple of different newsletters. So you might have one newsletter for your customers that do care about the stuff that I called boring earlier. So they do care about the latest features. They do care about like the new employees that you've hired. They do care about industry news. So maybe you'd have two separate newsletters. You'd have this one separate brand where you talk about the educational stuff, and then you have the one for your customers, which is from your main brand. I'd probably do something like that. Another question here. For starters, for startups, I think they say, do we use all funnels, test a few, or focus on the ones and see what works? Well, I'd recommend creating multiple funnels, definitely, if you've got the time and the resources and the budget to do it. So what I find with a lot of startups is they don't have the ads budget to run multiple campaigns. You know, a minimum budget on like Facebook ads or LinkedIn ads, for example, is £10 per day. So that's like $300 per month. So you'd need $600 to do two funnels at the same time. And that's like the minimum spend as well. So you're not really going to get much data from that. But yeah, if you've got the budget to do it, then yeah, you should always be A/B testing different funnels. So these three campaigns here that I showed you, it's impossible for me to tell you which one is going to work the best for your brand. So in an ideal world, you would try all three of them. If you can do all three at the same time, if you've got the resources to create that content, then that's perfect. If you've not got the resources, the budget, then you're going to have to do one at a time. So it just kind of comes down to budget, really. But you know, ultimately, you should be running multiple funnels. So like my business is running 6 or 7 different funnels. The main thing that's different is the lead magnet in the middle. So there's like this workshop was one funnel. The free strategy call is a different funnel. We've got an ebook as another funnel. We've got another ebook as a different funnel. We got there's a few other ones, a few different landing pages, all different ads pointing to different lead magnets with different nurture flows. And we're always analyzing which funnel is performing the best. The worst performing funnel we ditch. The best performing funnel we put more budget in. And if we ditch a funnel, we make sure we replace it with another one. So we're always running lots of different funnels at the same time. And you just learn so much quicker. A lot of companies do make the mistake of running one funnel and just sort of waiting for it to perform. And you don't even know if it performs good or bad because you haven't got much to compare it with. So yeah, I'd always recommend doing multiple funnels. More questions here. I don't think we're going to have time to go through all of these. By method, you mean FB or Instagram? So Meta is both Facebook and Instagram. It depends on your target audience. You know, Instagram's got a younger audience, but not that young, not as young as like TikTok. Facebook is sort of dying out with the younger generation, so that's more the older audience. But yeah, I mean, most of your target audience will be on those platforms, that's for sure. Most people are active on Instagram. So we find when we do meta ads, we put them on Facebook and Instagram, and we find that Instagram performs better for most of our clients in the B2B SaaS space, just because people are more active on it. To newsletter creation, any tips? Well, check out our newsletter, saasmarketingweekly.com. Check out the landing page. We put a lot of effort into making that landing page really attractive for people to sign up. So we have testimonials on the newsletter sign up page, which is testimonials of how good the newsletter is. It's not testimonials about how good our business is, it's how good the newsletter is. In terms of, yeah, other tips, I would just think about what are the main pain points that your target audience suffer from. What do you think would be a great topic for them that they would want to receive in their inbox weekly? I love tips, giving people tips. You know, you're a HR manager. We're going to give you weekly tips, but not broad. You can't be like, we're going to give you weekly HR tips. It needs to be specific. Weekly tips on company culture, weekly tips on how to reduce employee churn. Whatever you think that main pain point is that your product serves, what is the number one pain point? Should be around that. ChatGPT is great for helping you come up with ideas for titles, content for landing pages. And we've been giving you ideas. You could go to ChatGPT and you could say, I'm thinking of creating a newsletter to target HR professionals. This is my product. This is what it does. Could you give me some ideas? And it'll just list out like 20 different ideas, pick the best one, tweak it for your brand. But yeah, that's good advice. Use AI to just help you with some of this idea creation. Other questions here. Advice on newsletter content or layout. I think I've just covered the content layout. Yeah, so we tried a lot. We used to create really like creative newsletters, like lots of blocks and colors jumping around and loads of images and different grids and columns, and it just became a bit of a nightmare. Like newsletters don't really look the same on people's phones and devices and tablets. So we changed ours to be just really simple, like one column article. And that's been so easy from a development point of view, works on everyone's platforms. And it's what people are used to. It's kind of easy for them to read. When you've got different columns and blocks, it sort of appears like a sort of e-commerce fashion newsletter. So just keep it simple would be my advice. It's more about the content than like the layout and the design. What else we got here? What was the name of the intelligent lead form? Intelligent lead form, Typeform, I think was the one that I mentioned. Yeah, Typeform is a great way of, you fill out questions and then it spits you to different thank you pages depending on what you've answered. So yeah, Typeform, it's not cheap. It's like $50 a month maybe. So you can try and find cheaper alternatives, or you can get your WordPress developer or your website developer to potentially make one for you. Kind of think how we made ours. Can't remember. Ninja Forms maybe as a WordPress plugin. Can't remember. Feel free to email me. I'll let you know. What else have we got here? The scorecard. Would you show it on your company's domain, or would it be a specific scorecard company? So it depends on what package you go with, scoreapp.com. If you go for the middle package, which I think is, what is it, like 60, $70 a month, they unlock the feature where you can have it on your own domain. So it can be your company /scorecard. If you only go for the lower package, it has to be scoreapp.com / your company name. So, but it doesn't matter that much, really, the domain name. What else we got here? Can I get the details of other workshops that you've done? Well, I'm glad you like this one. Yes, we will. In the email you receive tomorrow, I'll send you the old ones that we've done. Another question here. When would you transfer leads from newsletter A to newsletter B? I'd definitely segment your audience. So I'd look at your current newsletter, try and segment people. You definitely want to separate customers and prospects. So, I mean, but to be fair, your customers should still want to receive your educational newsletter. So as soon as you created the newsletter, as soon as you created the landing page, created the brand, created the concept, created the first newsletter to go out, I'd probably move everyone across. Just like first newsletter goes out to that same audience. It's like an announcement. We're announcing our new newsletter. We used to send you industry news. We're now going to be sending you weekly tips and advice, and then give people an option to unsubscribe at the bottom like you would normally. So if they don't want the change, then fine. But if you genuinely feel that you've already got a decent newsletter that people like and people like the company updates, then don't get rid of it. Just keep it separate. So it kind of depends on where you're at with your current newsletter. Could we have access to your deck? I will send the recording. Sorry, I missed parts of the webinar. No problem. And Tiff saying thank you. Well, that's a good way to end. You're welcome. Well, that brings us 1 minute to 3 here in the UK. I need a glass of water. I've done lots of talking, but thank you so much for attending. I will be sending you this recording tomorrow. Look out for your inbox. And thank you so much. Good luck generating leads. And I'll let you know about the next workshop, which will be happening sometime soon as me and Isabel have made it. But yeah, thanks everybody. Have a great day. See you soon.